Good morning. It's Saturday morning. Just wanted to do a follow-up to yesterday's video about the fencing. I didn't quite get everything done. Saturday's a great day to be on the farm. I don't have to work my day job. I gotta get to just focus on farming full-time, pretend I'm a real farmer. And yeah, just went and moved the boys. Gotta go check on the heifers, make sure their water's looking good. Pretty light duty there. I just moved them yesterday, so it's not as involved. You know, kind of the size paddock we've been giving them. We've just been doing every couple days. Give them a fresh bit, and then every 4 or 5 days back fence and exclude them. So the rams and the rammobile, we move that 3 or 4 times a day. So that I keep coming back to. Yeah, with only 3 instead of 4 of them, it'll be a little easier, I think. But yeah, before I do anything, I'm going to take some time to sharpen my axe, proverbially speaking. I want to go through my tool bag here, kind of show you what I take out when I'm doing fencing work, and clean out all the little crud and junk that builds up and give myself a nice fresh start. So kind of thing I can get into on a Saturday. We don't have any plans. We're not going anywhere. It's like my favorite kind of Saturday. So let's get going. Okay, got my DeWalt tool bag here. Got this with a set of battery tools that I bought a while ago, and it's been pretty handy. I kind of keep this as my high tensile fencing go bag. It is quite a mess right now, which is why I need to take some time to clean it out, because it's getting to the point where I'm getting a little dysfunctional. Boy, a bunch of old wraparound insulators. These are ones I removed because they're just getting cracked and chewed up, and I have enough. Yeah, this one's kind of bent, so this is all garbage. I'm all, stuff I've removed, shorties. Got a lot of little bits, of course some channel locks, that's good to have. Our tensioner tool, set that aside. Fence tool. These are those clips I've been using on the Timeless. Take a look at those. Yeah, I found them on Amazon. They're like, I don't know, curtain hangers or something. But I just crimp this around the Timeless, twist that, and kind of crimp it shut to hold the wire, so it gives me a nice quick clip. Oh, lineman's pliers. This is probably the most important tool. And actually, I've got this handy little leather pouch I found, this Klein Tools pouch. It holds those real nice. And I can put this one in there like that. And keep these two handy on my belt. Usually, throw my screwdriver in there if I got to pop insulators off the T-post. So that's kind of my go-to belt setup. And boy, having this handy right on my belt saves so much time walking back and forth, setting stuff down. I don't lose them in the fields. A lot of stuff I spray paint orange, kind of fade in there. That's so I can see it in the grass when I set it down. And I know it all goes kind of with this kit. Yeah, our crimpers here. This is what we use to crimp our wire crimps. And then I like to keep my fasteners in these old peanut butter jars. You can see what's in them pretty easily. You can keep them separate. I can pull them in, pull them out. Got my long sleeves for the high tensile. This is what I use on the wraparound posts. Got some short tap crimps here. These are pretty much just used to, like, if I want to add an insulator somewhere in the line, I'll just set these on either side so it doesn't slide on the wire, and I can say if I got a H brace and my brace wire's coming down, I can put this on my hot wire and make sure it doesn't connect. So some great big staples. A bunch of these extra 4-inch things I've salvaged from taking fences down. Some deck screws. These are the H-brace pins I use. And auger bit to install the pins. Actually, usually keep that in the bucket until I need it. There's a bigger auger I use for especially if I need to put like a the bolt style gate hinge. I can screw all the way through like an 8 or 9 inch post, whatever size post, and get that big bolt for the gate hinge through, and extra tensioner. And yeah, a whole bunch of garbage. This is the stuff that builds up. Little bits of high tensile wire, all kinds of those. And I found with high tensile wire, if I just take a few minutes to cut it into short lengths, it's so much easier to deal with. I don't have these big things falling out of my bag. But you do gotta take a minute to clean them out once in a while. Alright, I don't think there's any metal or plastic in there. Okay, put all my bits and pieces back in here. Can go in the bag. And the tray's nice. I mean, it adds a little bit of weight, but it gives me a smaller set I can pull out. So I want to have a smaller little bit of stuff with me. And kind of keeps things a little bit situated in there, which is nice. And the hammer. Gotta have a hammer. So yeah, it took about 20 minutes, but well worth it. I mean, I'm gonna make that time up out in the field when I'm not rummaging through this bag, poking myself on bits of wire, and trying to find the tool I need at that moment. So all set. Let's head out there. So I'm all geared up for fencing, and I'm getting some water up here by the barn. I wanted to take a minute to show this off. This stuff here right in front of the door. This is male Indian amaranth, and I don't think it's quite seeding out yet, but it gets these little black seeds that you can actually eat. Yeah, they're not quite ready. But we've had this for a long time, probably 15 years. This plant's been following us around. We've saved seed from it, and it just kind of naturalizes and takes off. So not sure how it ended up here. We must have dropped some seed, but kind of funny. And then here right next to the barn, we've got a big old pumpkin growing. Well, I mean, the pumpkin itself isn't huge, but it's a huge plant. I know there's probably some more hiding in there, and some more amaranth. And then this tomato, which got a cage. So obviously Nikki must have planted it here. I don't know what this is, but it's this wild, just all black tomato. So kind of cool. I think they're about ripe, but be interested to try that. I might save some seed from that one. It's really interesting. I'm not sure if that's another tomato, or a few more tomatoes in there too. Not sure if that's one she got from a friend or from the local Amish, but kind of cool, something different. Just finished watering the cows and the rams. Got my trusty sidekick here, 2 bales of alfalfa. Well, it's half alfalfa, half grassed hay from last year. We're going to go put on the land for the sheep and goats to keep them occupied. And yeah, let's go. We can finally take this road. It's still a little tippy. One of my goals this weekend is to get David's tractor again and put a little more rock down, but it went from you couldn't drive this safely to it's a little tippy, and I think a few more scoops of gravel, this big stone in there. Oh, lost my hay bale. Darn it. A little too tippy. All right. Don't touch the fence. Well, let's see what I did here. I had all this big limestone that we had up around the house and didn't really like, so we used that for fill, and then brought in some soil and then some of this 3-inch stone, and try this again. Are up that way. And there's a little jog in the fence line here, and then where that clump of bushes, there's another low spot that I can't drive past that I'm working on filling in. Once I get that all graded out, I'll be able to mow with the brush mower and the fence line trimmer along this 920 foot long fence here. Should be really nice. Swale. Okay. Alley-oop. Don't lose the hay. And we're back. Now this, we grazed this back in June, July, and boy, it's recovered beautifully. We see there's still a lot of standing stalks where I haven't mowed. Some areas I did mow, so there's some real big open areas with none of that standing stuff, but I decided not to get, well, A, I didn't have time to hit it all, and B, I decided to leave some of this standing so we'd have more places for birds to land and insect life. I didn't want to decimate the insect life, so yeah, did a partial mowing. You know, I just kind of drive around looking for the biggest, baddest roses and hit them. But I try not to wipe everything out. So that bird's foot trefoil's coming back, and chicory. There's a ton of dragonflies flying around here. Great sign of soil health. Yeah, I don't know if the camera picks that up or not, but as I'm driving, there's grasshoppers and insects taking off just constantly. Right here we have our electrical transmission lines. This is just a single strand, and it runs, it's actually just a single reel if you can believe it. Runs all the way back up there by the barn, or not quite to the barn, right to the corner of the 920. I don't know if you can see those yellow posts going all the way back. That's our source of power. And that fence line by those dead hickory trees, all the way down through here, all the way up to here. Let's say it's about, it's got to be about 1,400 feet long. And then that brings us up here where we jump around to our single strand perimeter. It goes all the way down the back corner, around and down to the edge of the dam. So yeah, the sheep and goats have been back here for a solid month, and this, I'll have to measure it up. I'm guessing it's about 8 acres or something. So moving a lot slower than we normally move. It's a lot more roses. It's nice to see this starting to recover. The bird's foot and the grass is poking up through the thatch there. And yeah, we're pretty close. Now when I run my other, I'm going to run a new transmission line, or actually it'll be a perimeter fence, a fence that we're actually going to use heading up the West Valley over there. And I'm going to bring that all the way down to the dock and then over to that new fence we built to provide power there. And then I can pick all this up. So we're going to pick up a whole bunch of reels and posts to help build our new paddocks once we flip our power from this set over to the other side. Of course, give me another year or two, and we're going to get this perimeter cleaned up. We're going to fix up the high tensile that's back hiding in there, get all this cleaned out, and then I won't have to do all this extra work of running transmission lines and perimeter fence around the farm. And that's a reason we can get away with one strand here, is it's so dense and there's high tensile and barbed wire buried in there, so it's just not too appealing for these goats and sheep to try to get through there. They don't like to go into stuff they can't see too. That's where the wolves hide. So especially like if the grass gets taller than they can see, they bunch up together and they just kind of start small and trample things down. Anyhow, I got to get our machine across this transmission line, so I will just pin that down and we'll continue on our journey and go check on the goats and sheep, do our morning chores, and we can go finish fence. We'll finish that permanent fence and then set up some new temporary fence. Really important to keep an eye on your line when you're driving over and make sure it doesn't hook. I've had it hook on our plow mount, and I've had it actually get caught in the tires when I've had mud in the tread of the tires. It grabs the wire and rolls it around, and that's no fun, especially when it's hot. But if you keep an eye on it, you can stop before it gets too difficult, which is nice. My only complaint about this Kubota is it's hard to shift. It doesn't line up all the time, and you gotta just give it a little gas and then it'll, get past that stuck point. Other than that, it's great. Handles these hills like a champ, especially if you're going straight up and down. Oh, almost lost that hay bale again. So this area here, it's actually, we had some rain the other day. It got 1 1/4 inches, which is the first time in, I'd say, 3 weeks we've had any rain. And it's already starting to recover, even though we were just here about a week ago, I'd say. Less than a week. I gotta look at the map. It's probably a week. We've been moving slow here. But there's some dogs. Hey, Griffin. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. Hey, Gertie. Everybody doing good? You got sheep and goats in here? All right. Okay. Joe's clever enough to park right in the thorns. Of course, that's kind of everywhere out here. All right. All right. Oh, big step. Okay. Hey, sheep. We're going to start right here. Don't really have any grass, so hopefully we'll get some seed down. There's a little bit. It's a real sandy soil. I didn't even know this big log was here before we put the animals in here. Oh my goodness. You guys ran over hash brown. Yeah, they're a little bit excited. Not even that there's nothing to eat out here. It's just, hey, something different. Nobody likes variety. You guys got so excited you just ran hash brown right over. Goats are crazy, man. Tell you what. I figured they were getting hungry. All right, back up. Back up. Hash brown, you all right, buddy? Yeah. Here. Spread this out a little bit. Everybody gets a chunk. Yeah, kind of silly in some ways feeding hay this time of year when we got plenty of grass, but I can't really overwinter the animals back here, and I do want to get some more carbon down. Oops, sorry, Sonata. So we'll burn a couple bales this time of year. 7, you're looking thin there. All right, there's number 4. She's the one I'm worried about. She's just been losing condition like crazy. I think we're probably gonna say she's eating good, but she's just not holding condition. I know her lamb, Tiny, is still nursing, last we saw. She probably isn't helping. She is eating though. I can hear her, see her mouth working. Hey, Gertie. Good girl. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully that'll tide everybody over. Keep them happy for a couple hours while I finish up that fence and get the new paddock set up. I'm so close. It's been weeks of work. And, well, I shouldn't say weeks of work. I mean, I only get an hour or 2 to work on it in the evening on weekdays. So I've been doing that for the last week. And today I got a little bit of time. I can finish it up, do it right, get these animals moved, and let this section recover. One last chore here. Feed the llama. She's our spoiled girl. She gets a little bit of grain. We stopped for most of the year. We stopped graining her. Just didn't think she needed it when the grass was lush and she was putting on weight without it. But you know, she's an older llama. We know she's at least 10 years old, but we don't know exactly how old she is. And she was really skinny when we first got her. And we like to spoil her a little bit. You know, she's not a meat animal, so I don't mind doing a little bit of grain, giving her that extra boost to help her put on a fat layer and get her through winter. The sheep and goats, they got to perform on pasture. It just is what it is. Even the ones we're worried about, I'd rather get them out of the flock than supplement. Oh, if that's 4 right there, I might just give her a bite if she'll take it. No, she's walking away. And she's isolating herself again. Hey, Sonata. Alright. There you go, sweetie. See thing 2 there? His back legs stiffened up. That's the fainting goat in him. They get excited or nervous about something, their legs start going rigid. Rigor mortis sets in early. Goofy little things. Can I get the burrs off your head? No, ears back. Ears back. Don't touch me. Yeah. You're okay. I know you want this. All right, hey, all right, I'll back off. It's not so bad. I could pick those burrs right out of your head. We could even brush you if you'd let us. Hey, teeny. And number 419 is still just a wee little thing. He's not really growing too well. Yeah, I think everybody's starting to lose a little bit of condition up here. I just can't make a living on just roses, and I've worked over all the nice high energy grasses pretty well. I mean, we're about on our third day of the last paddock. We gave them a fresh stuff, and you know, after that the goats are doing great. They're fine. They'll eat this stuff and make a living. Sheep, not so much. They need some grass, some clover, something with a little more energy to maintain their weight, which we know, we understand that, but we're in landscaping mode. I need their help to get this place under control. And oh, look at that! The sun came out. Been fighting some downpours here. Had a few storms blow through, slowing me down. Had to run and get some provisions for the family. That's an hour round trip to the store. So it is late afternoon. I'm finally getting this fence finished up. I'm at about 95%. So I just wanted to show off this. Man, it looks so much nicer when the sun's shining through. You can see these sunny patches where we opened up the canopy, took down some, nothing huge, but good 8-9 inch around trees, a couple of them and a whole bunch of little ones. Open up that canopy. Still got some cleanup to do here, but I'm not taking time for that. I'm gonna get the animals on here. Come back for chopping up branches later. Okay, so here we are. Got my gate. I got my fiberglass post painted yesterday, so that's nice and set up. This is that 2.5 inch fiberglass, and I use Rust-Oleum enamel, the high performance enamel, and that'll protect it from the UV. This fiberglass will last basically forever. It won't rot, but the sun will cause it to delaminate, and all of a sudden you'll have all these little sharp little hairs coming off. So this way you can touch it, it's fine. So you got my wires connected here, just a real simple loop around. I was actually short on a couple of these, so I went ahead and just spliced them with a crimp. I normally don't do that, but I don't have any tensioners on here. It's really just pulling it hand tight across the gully, about 50 feet or so. So a little different than my normal setup. Here I've got my electrical connection. I've got my little open tap crimp. I just like to put a 90, go down and zigzag back and forth. I got all 4 of these wires connected electrically. I just have to make one hot and they'll all be hot wires. A lot of people like to alternate hot and ground. I don't know, I get a good charge up here. I think a lot of that's because I got that big Stay-Fix or SpeedRite charger. It's the 6400W, like a 46 joule charger, and I've got 7 10-foot ground rods hooked to that thing. So even though I'm probably half a mile from the charger right here, I tell you, when this thing's hot, you're gonna feel it. It gives a pretty good jolt. So I don't worry about alternating hot and ground. I just make them all hot and use the ground for the ground. Of course, I live in a pretty wet climate, so that helps. I went ahead and trenched this out here. Just got to finish hooking this up and fill it in, but I've got 3/4 inch poly as a conduit. And then I got my insulated wire inside there, and I'm not worried about water getting in there at all. I mean, that's not the purpose of this conduit. The insulated jacket will take care of keeping the moisture off the wire. This is to protect the coating of the wire. And what will happen, especially in a cold climate like this, is that the ground freezes and thaws in a cycle, and that causes movement. So if you get a little rock next to your wire and it's moving with the ground, eventually it'll wear through that insulation, and then you'll have a short underground that you'll have to track down. So this is just a little bit of insurance, a little bit of extra protection. Somebody drives a spike into the ground there for some reason, or whatever, or that rubbing from the stones in the soil of the freeze thaw just gives it a little extra protection there. So I'm gonna throw a couple staples. I like to run my electric up inside the loops here on the end, and then this will hook right up here to this top wire with an open tap crimp. I always connect my electrical connections, especially across an underground joint like this, to the top wire, and then, you know, like I saw over here, that top wire will carry power over to the jumpers that carry it down to the rest. So if I go around a corner, I'm just connecting top wire to top wire. That way the top wire carries power all the way around the farm uninterrupted. And if there's a short somewhere on one of these lower wires, it doesn't, you know, it'll sap this section, but I'll still have voltage on the next section that's connected by that top wire. So it's just the safest way to get your juice all the way around without losing anything. I like to put these 6-inch insulators and an extra crimp on there. So my brace wire, you see how close that is? I don't want that shorting out, because then when the post gets wet, that can conduct and you'll lose power. So anywhere I think I might, you know, even though it's not touching there, I'll be able to crimp those and just make that so if somebody bumps it, something happens, it shifts with the temperature changes, I'll be able to keep that brace wire from shorting out on my hot wires. Yeah, so that's it. Got this, ended up putting a couple timeless posts. See if I can make it down this muddy slope without slipping. Couple timeless, and then just added that fiberglass down there, down in the creek bottom. And holy crap, a tree just fell down back there. Okay, glad I wasn't right here. Anyhow, yeah, drilled some little holes. Again, painted the fiberglass, drilled some little holes, and I like to put a little loop-de-doo on the end there so the wire can slide back and forth as the tension changes. And that's just holding it down. It's pretty well in there. I don't think it's gonna pull out. I mean, I'm not putting a whole lot of tension on it. And then, yeah, that takes us up over here to our corner. And then this fence is the one we cleaned up a couple months ago. I didn't restring it. I just kind of fixed it up, and then some of these had insulators and some didn't. So we've got 6 wires here, but only this second one from the ground and this one here are hot. But I think that's enough to keep our animals in. You know, it provides a barrier. They're going to get some kind of shock if they start messing with it. So we went with that. We already grazed. We didn't get down here, but we had a way up there. This fence is actually 535 feet long, not 900 like I said in my last video. I was making numbers up. Man, probably shouldn't be in the woods any longer than I have to with the wind kicking up. But anyhow, I need to give this thing a walk, make sure nothing fell on the fence since we've been here last. But Yeah, we grazed the top section of this, but we've never grazed down here. We didn't let them get close because I didn't have this bottom section down by the gully, by the pond hooked up yet. So the nice part is I've already got a trail cut up at the top of the hill there that goes across over to the West Valley. So that'll be real handy. I'll run a poly line out there, and that'll kind of box them in to this area. Of course, I don't expect them to get back here in the woods much, but hey, we'll give them access. Maybe they'll do some cleanup, get some roses, things out of here. We'll have to be careful that I can't push them hard in here because it's all this maple. I really got to get in here with a trimmer because maple can cause some toxicity if they're forced to eat it. I'm not worried about them getting in here and having access to it as long as they're not hungry and that's all that's left. They're going to pick other things that are more palatable, like these lovely multiflora roses. But yeah, I'm going to have to get in here and do a lot of cleanup with the chainsaw and the trimmer. But hey, at least we'll get some animal impact, and more importantly, they can graze the top of the hill up there where it's sunny and grassy. But if they come this way, there's nowhere for them to go. We should have them contained. So I'm going to finish up my electrical connections here. I just got a couple more to do, and then I'm going to get out of here before more trees fall down. And yeah, I still got a bunch of poly wire to set up to make this happen, and then a little bit of paths to cut, and then I'll finally be ready to move these guys. It's been a journey, and I feel kind of bad. I wish I could move them faster, but I am glad that we're doing things right. We got this permanent fencing setup done. It's going to make the next 10 years, however long this lasts. I don't know. It's not a new fence. These corners are kind of janky, but I'm sure I got at least 10, if not 20, 25 years out of this. That'll be just, regular maintenance, no major construction. So, yeah, I'm going to look back on this video and show you this hillside someday, maybe 5 or 10 years from now, and it's going to look very different. I promise you that. So, all right, I'm going to finish up my connections, go set up some poly fence. Okay, there it is. Lines buried, connected. I decided to put my other connector down ways away from the gate. And I put the jumper on the corner. So, yeah, make one of these wires hot, all 4 of these, and 2 of those are going to be hot with it. So, time to pack her in, put some tools away. I got to get out and start setting up some paddocks. Oh boy, challenging day we got going on today. I was just out setting up the fencing. It's a new paddock, and a big storm ripped in and chased me away, and I had to rush back to the barn. Holy cow, is that cool. But sun's out. I should have about an hour between sets of thunder and lightning, so I'm going to head back out. It's still sprinkling a little bit here, but man, look at that big full arch double rainbow right over the barn. That is so cool. So yeah, nothing good comes easy. Gotta take the bad with the good. And a moment ago I was feeling pretty bad, feeling guilty that I didn't get those sheep and goats on some fresh feed, and kind of feeling like, oh, maybe I should have taken the quick route and just set up some temporary fence instead of spending all this time on a permanent fence. Ooh, all right, still got a little bit of lightning going on there, but it's moving that way. So as I drive down the hill, it should be moving away from me, hopefully. But anyway, if I did that, I would have spent a lot of time and energy setting up that portable fence. I wouldn't have made as much progress on the permanent fence, and I wouldn't have had this pressure to get out there every day this week and spend my evenings building that fence. So sometimes it's better, I think, to have that pressure. And man, that is a beautiful sight. Just cool how it frames the barn perfectly. All right, well, enough jabbing. We still got some A little bit of clouds, but there's sun shining over that way, and blue skies that way. We're on the tail end of this set, and I think I got about an hour to get these animals set up before the next one hits, so let's do it. Okay. Start my fence right at the end of the lane here. I got the first wire started. Got to add a couple posts. I was short a couple walking up the hill here. So we'll stop and put those in real quick. Oh man, that's cool. That looks about good. Yeah, halfway or so. All right, yeah, that'll keep it off. Well, yeah, that'll keep it off the ground. Okay. I'm up on top of the hill here. You see the pond down there, the dams down over that way, and right below me is that fence we built. So we do have a nice sunny area up here, but it's not very good grass, to be honest. I think I'm gonna maybe get them up here and graze, and then maybe bring some hay up, because I'm not gonna be able to get back here in the winter, and I gotta do something to build up the organic matter. But just before the storm hit, I took my brush blade and cut a path right down to the fence between the roses, so we can graze. This section here is the goal, right over to the dock over there. And yeah, looking forward to cleaning this up. So we'll get moving and get this fence set up. Okay, well, I got this fence run. It goes over that hill between the apples all the way down to the new permanent fence. And it goes up here all the way to our permanent fence up there where we're hooking on for power. I'm really excited about getting back into this West Valley. We got about another week of landscaping mode. I'm gonna put a fence down this road we've been driving down to the edge of the pond, down by the dock. This will be their first paddock, which has got some nice stuff in it. I mean, there's good grass here. I'm really excited about getting into the West Valley here, where it's had maybe, most of this has been about 3 months of rest, and it's just really thick and lush. It's not seeding out. It's just going to be really nice feed. So we're going to switch over once we get around this hill here and get those roses cleaned up. We're going to switch to animal performance mode. We're going to head right up this east side of the West Valley. We're going to zigzag up, down, and then back up along the property line there. That should take us really through just about all of October, maybe getting into November a little bit. We got some nice mature trees for shade in here. A lot of good grass. we're going to be back in daily moves, every day, get them on something fresh, put some fat on them before winter. And we do have 5 withers, 5 young ram lambs that we banded. We got a date for them, a processing date in January. So we'll get them, won't be feeding too much hay. Hoping to fatten them up pretty good here in this valley. And then I'm sure we'll have to do a little bit of hay feed. And I should have called earlier for my date, but things are booking up fast. So mid-January is about the earliest I could get. And we'll take those 5 guys in. So hey, if somebody wants to buy a whole lamb off us, give me a shout. You can click on our channel link and view our channel, or go to wholeviewfarm.com. That's our website, and you find a link to email us or join our mailing list there. You can get notified if you're interested in livestock or interested in meat. As it becomes available here, we'll let you know. And yeah, I'm gonna keep going here. I gotta go down by the pond, and there's a little gap between our new fence and the old fence. I'm gonna close that up. I'm gonna cut a little lane from this road that I've been driving to the edge of the pond, so I can make a closed here right up to the pond. And then I'm gonna run this fence, and I'll be ready to move these animals. Okay. It's pretty dark out here. I don't know if you can even see on the video, but we're gonna try. I've been running around. Hey Gertie, there's Gertie. Been running around, hooking up power on everything, and chasing down some faults. And I got barely getting any juice here. I can see a spark flashing in the distance here. Yeah, I found a tree on the line. Way in the back where the animals were. There's some dogs. Hey Griffin, what do you think of this new paddock, huh? The good news is I got everybody moved. Forgot to pull out my camera. I wish I had, because the stampede was really something, very gratifying. Oh, why is this? That's better. Hit it. Yeah, I never did check that 500-foot fence, and I bet there's a limb or something laying on it, but not much I can do about it tonight. At least we got, I don't know, 1,000 volts. Oh, there's a sheep. Hey, Griffin. Good boy. Yeah, they're excited to be on this fresh forage, and it's pretty dark out here. Has storms rolling in. Just kind of ran out of time here, so I gotta come back tomorrow to move the feeder and the mineral feeder. Oh, there's everybody. Yeah, this isn't so bad, is it? Yeah, so we'll come back tomorrow to kind of finish things up, do some checks of the fence, make sure everything's nice and hot. I don't think it's going to be a problem tonight. I had enough light when I let them in here to kind of see the lines and get a sense of where they are at. And this is really a nice big paddock, I'm really excited about getting all this cleaned up. Anyhow, I'm driving home in the dark, so yeah, we do the best we can here. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button. Give us a subscription if you want to see more of this stuff. And I'm beat. I got to be honest. This was probably the most difficult area that we've grazed so far. This back corner behind the pond. Just a lot of setup, a lot of challenging moves and things we had to think about. I'm really glad to be on the tail end of it, as I'm exhausted, and looking forward to some easy moves coming up. Nikki and I are going to be heading over to George Heller's in a week for the SFA grazing school up there. So hope, I don't know if they still have any slots open, but Greg, Judy, and Isaac Tappenden from Green Pastures Farm. I got Jordan Meyer from Wholesome Family Farm, where we got Griffin. Is going to be giving a talk on small ruminants. I'm really excited. There's a bug expert coming who's going to do a whole presentation on dung beetles. If you're if you're like me, that's pretty exciting. You get excited about dung beetles. Yeah, so if you're a fellow grazer, hope you can make it, and maybe we'll meet you there. And yeah, I'm gonna go drive up this hill in the dark, so wish me luck.